I landed with one job: turn this garage into a full functioning podcast studio before the first guest arrives the next morning. This is Dmitry Lipinskiy, one of the largest thought leaders in the blue collar space and helping contractors grow their business. And he gave me one of the most difficult and almost nearly impossible deadlines of my entire career. My name is ManagerJon, and I've been going around the entire US building content studios for businesses and creators that have been wanting to get into content creation. They just don't know where to start. They don't know what gear to use. They don't know what kind of budget to allocate for certain things. And they just want to, at the end of the day, be able to create, to be able to build their own personal brand. Let's dive into it. I had about 24 hours from the time I touched down to be able to get this podcast up and running for 4 podcasts a day. And throughout the entire week, I believe there were anywhere from like 12 to 16 podcasts that he had scheduled out, people flying in from all over the country. If we don't do this is like brand suicide if we mess this up. Dmitry's had studios before, but before they all kind of looked like a garage or either like a newscaster setup. And this time we're going kind of like a late night talk show with vertical TVs, a stone backdrop that looks super professional and beautiful. So the clock is ticking and we've got about 12 hours now since we've really started to begin before we need to have our first test shoot ready. So here's what we're up against. This stone backdrop that's against the wall, where every single part of the stone needs to be perfectly flush. These TVs that were mounted vertically, which I've never attempted to do before. And all the lighting is getting rigged from ceiling to eliminate floor stands and create a cleaner shot. And then there's this wild wood burning stove that shows up and it has a broken leg and needs a full chimney installed all the way through the ceiling. Any one of these things could have derailed the entire build. However, lucky for us, introducing Hender. And honestly, he's one of the biggest reasons why we were able to pull this off. The chimney expert, the problem solver, absolute legend. We dive in and immediately the stone wall becomes our first crisis. We get the contractor to take down all the stone, which Dmitry had noticed prior to us arriving that it was installed wrong. He saw that there was kind of like a wave and there was a little bit of a gap within the whole thing. It wasn't really sitting flush. This entire section has to go down. They have to start from scratch. We just burned 2 hours that we didn't have, but we get through all of that and the clock is ticking.
Hey, let's go muscles, let's see it, bro.
Okay, so basically everything got cleared, flushed out. The tile is officially set. We have cleared out all the weights, reestablished everything. Over here, we have our veneer paneling that's going to go on each side of these, as well as a fireplace that is going to be a fake fireplace that comes on into the corner. We're going to have 2 bar stool style chairs here. And then if you take a look here, we have our Amaran 300D2, which is connected to with the rigging that we've been using, which is going to just drop straight down between the 2 guests and be able to illuminate them perfectly with the lantern light that we have here. But all in all, time to clean out, clear up, and get dialed in.
So here's what nobody tells you about mounting TVs vertically. The mounts are engineered for horizontal weight distribution. We literally created this idea. This was Igor's idea, and honestly, it was brilliant, but we didn't really know how it would necessarily pan out as far as the weight distribution. But once we got our wood paneling up, our nice veneer fluted paneling up, everything got cut. But with Dmitry's help, we were able to get everything up and going and sunk to the walls. Then we began mounting the TVs vertical with the vertical mounts and making sure that the brackets aligned. I'm not gonna lie, my heart was kind of racing because this mount doesn't hold. The last thing you want is a TV to drop in the middle of you shooting and you break just like $1,000 TV. We took a gamble, but we made sure that we did it properly and that all the cord management was able to be managed. by plugging in lifted outlets that were about halfway up to the ceiling. So you don't have to drag these cords all the way around and try to connect the TVs. Then we get to the stove. The stove was a super nice stove. However, if you know in logistics or whenever you're ordering things online, sometimes it's a little bit of a gamble. And they ended up actually busting one of the legs. And so we had to improvise because we don't have time to send this thing back and we need to start shooting literally tomorrow. We got the initial stove set up. We mounted it with some natural looking bricks along the back until we could get it properly fixed. And then Hender goes at the chimney to be able to mount the chimney all the way from the top of the stove to the ceiling. And so the solution was we really just ended up propping it up with some natural looking bricks. But honestly, that chimney pipe was difficult. And I don't think we would have been able to make this look as good without Hender's help. Normally I take a front end kind of approach to this, but within this studio build, I was kind of able to take a back end and just allow other people to lead in their specialties, which I really love because that's how you get to the next tier of being able to build something truly great. So Hender has the chimney, Igor and I have the aesthetics, and then we begin to set up and dial in our cameras so that everything is good. And so by 9 p.m., we've wrapped up everything we started this morning and we've been going nonstop. The guests arrive at 7 a.m. tomorrow and we've got our test window and then we are live. The first podcast goes flawless, perfect color, perfect lighting, engaging audience, asking great questions. The vertical TVs are the star of the show. The stone wall looks absolutely incredible. And then to tie everything up, my last day there, Dmitry and I sat down for a live audience podcast, just the two of us. We talked about personal branding, content strategy, and the power of storytelling, how we see the world. 24 hours to build a studio, 72 hours to prove what's possible when a team executes with purpose and doesn't give themselves permission to fail. And this is what's possible when you combine truth-seeking storytelling with relentless execution. Dmitry built his brand on exposing the truth. We just gave him the studio to be able to broadcast it to the world. Let's recap here. If you want to be able to create a studio out of your garage, there's going to be some things within this video that you're going to want to consider. One, how you want to be able to position the placement of everything within the room. You need to be able to clear house and give yourself some room to breathe and some space to be able to think and to be able to use that depth of field. If you don't know what depth of field is, it's how far something is behind you. If you see behind me, it's a little bit blurry. That's because there's depth of field. There's distance between you and the background. Your garage can be one of the best places that you can build depth of field because if you have a larger garage, you can create that space for a really nice look. But it doesn't just stop there. You want to be able to add sound deadening things because most garages have really high ceilings. The type of audio gear that you're getting and the type of sound treatment that you're doing to a garage is very important. In this video, we use the SM7Bs, which are the quote unquote Joe Rogan mics. And then last but not least, you want to look at your lighting situation because especially in a garage, you do not want to use the lights that are within the garage. You want to have all controlled lighting. So that means that you want to have a main source of light, a key light. The Amaran 300C goes for $300 some odd. And so you can get a pretty solid, strong light for anywhere from $300 to $500. So think about incorporating those elements. If this video helped you, let me know in the comment section below. This is a little bit different of a studio build video for me because I wanted to show you guys a little bit of some of the things that are going through my head as we're building these, more than just like the technical stuff, because the technical stuff is great, but if you don't have fundamentals and you don't have a good team or a good vision to build off of, the gear doesn't really matter. I hope this video helped you and that you guys will be able to take some elements within this studio build and be able to apply it to your potential garage studio build. And if you want any more help, we created a gear playlist section that you can check out for more gear. I will also list some of the gear that we used in the description below. Let me know in the comments section what you would rate this studio, 1 out of 10, 10 being the best, 1 being the worst. Make sure you check out the podcast that we shot there so you can see exactly how everything tied in together. I'm gonna set up one of these corners here. I'm ManagerJon. Peace.